Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're in Ferns here in County Wexford. We're in a very old graveyard with two notable burials here, one being Father Murphy, a rebellion leader, and the other being a king. So come on, we'll take a walk around and we'll try and locate their final resting places. So this is quite unusual. Two holes in this headstone. It says here lies the body of Catherine Murphy, who departed this life October the 25th, 1781, aged just 30. We have the IHS symbol there, but very strange. We've two holes in the headstone.
I wonder, I'm just thinking, would there be holes in that because it was like put up against a wall at one stage?
I don't think so. I have seen that before, but the holes were actually bigger. So any of you understand why this would have happened? They're not bullet holes, even though they would kind of give you that idea, but they're not. But it's very, very, very strange. It's a beautiful headstone here, in fact. Here lies the body of Mary O'Donnelly or wow, what is that?
O'Daniel, is it?
But there's an EY at the end of it.
O'Donnelly.
O'Donnelly, on kind of a strange name. Departed his life, and now we have Roman numerals here, so I won't be able to tell you what that is, and Roman numerals here, aged, and down at the bottom then, his death date, her death date, but also Roman numerals. But look at that, guys. That's our Lord, and we have the soldier there with a spear, and he's actually piercing his side. That's a beautiful stone. Strange to see the Roman numerals on headstones. This one is another lovely one. We see the crucifixion scene as well. We've angels and temples on either side. Here lies the body of Michael, who departed this life with 1789 there, aged 61. So at the moment we're looking for Father Murphy's grave. Father Murphy was hung, drawn and quartered for his role in the 1798 rebellion. Another crucifixion scene. This is a beautiful stone as well. Not sure you pick it up very, very well. We've the sun and the moon. This is 1810. The body of Catherine Sinnott. She was 75 when she passed. So very, very old stones in here. These rails, doesn't seem to be anything in it. Yeah, just red brick around the bottom. Quite unusual. It's a beautiful cemetery.
Lots of yew trees.
Lots of yew trees. That's the church just there. We actually have ruins in the background as well. But you can see how huge this cemetery is. I'm calling it a cemetery because, the church is kind of situated off from it, but I suppose it could be classed as a graveyard. That headstone has completely tumbled over. Look at that. Completely out of the ground. It's a shame. Wow, I'm not sure. I thought that at first
Strange, isn't it?
was a headstone. I don't think it is.
There is inside, but
Yeah, so this probably would have been a walled area. And what I'm seeing there, just completely covered in ivy, would have been maybe memorials. We do have a grave that's flat, so a tombstone. But it does look like the railings are completely gone. And you know, it doesn't surprise me that people sometimes do come in and steal from their graves. Like they will take that iron and scrap it and sell it on. IHS here, beautiful stone. Here lies the body of Mary Murphy, alias Boyle, who departed this life 1810, aged, is that just 11? Gosh, it is, I think. Aged 11. Also her, no, it couldn't be. So
41,
it's not.
is it?
Is it 41?
41, I think.
Maybe 41, because her son is here, John, aged 30, 1835. Beautiful moon there, really nice designs on it. This one is 1799, and this is Murphy as well, a Patrick Murphy. He was 67 when he passed. Also here we have the sun and the moon, but you can see that lichen once again completely covers it. Now, so as I said, we're looking for a tabletop tomb for Father Murphy.
It's a huge headstone, isn't it?
This is a huge headstone. Look at the colour of it. It's kind of like a wine colour to it. I can see Catherine on it already. Erected by John Dowd. I do have a subscriber with the name Dowd or O'Dowd. So if he's watching, we have found Dowds. John Dowd of Enniscorthy, in memory of his mother Catherine Dowd, who departed this life May 10th, 1815, aged 46. Also, his father Michael Dowd, who departed this life in 1834, aged 56, and his wife Catherine Dowd. She was 66 when she passed. I think it's 1881 there. There's a John Dowd at the bottom then as well.
It's about 6 feet tall, I'd say.
Gosh, it is. It's huge. Strange place for it, really, kind of just up against the wall there. Beautiful wall as well. Look at the work in that. I see just a sad little iron cross here on its own.
Yeah, there's a couple along the wall there.
And look at this one here. There is some sort of inscription on it. Can't really make it out though.
H-O-E, is it?
Oh, is it John? Maybe John, or... Oh, it's very hard to read, unfortunately, but those stones would have been just for the, you know, people that couldn't afford a grand headstone, and they made these simple stones with maybe just sometimes their initials on them. With a few stones just against the wall, they would have broken, I suppose, and just been placed to the side. But for the size of this place, there's a lot of space, so you do wonder, you know, are the unmarked graves in here? Look at the way that one has...
Sinking.
Yeah, it's just sunk into the ground. Now what I noticed with this one, it looks like we have the stonemason's name. Can you see that just under there? Look. If you can shine the... Martin Kenny. Not as well known as our J. Byrne. Here lies the body of Andrew Whelan, who departed this life the 14th, and that's all we can read. Another crucifixion scene with the sun and the moon. I think there's temples, there would have been temples on either side. So Martin Kenny. And it's nice that, you know, back in the day, they remembered the stonemason on the headstone. Oh, do you know something? I think I have actually found Father Murphy just here. So this is Father John Murphy. He was born in 1753, and he was an Irish Roman Catholic priest, and he is mainly remembered for his central role in the Irish Rebellion of 1798 here in Wexford. He led the rebels to one of their initial victories. Unfortunately, Father Murphy was captured in a farmyard on the 2nd of July in 1798, and he was brought to a military tribunal, and he was charged with committing treason against the British Crown and sentenced to death. He was tortured in an attempt to extract more information from him. Father Murphy was stripped, flogged, hanged and decapitated. His corpse was burnt in a barrel of tar and his head was impaled on a spike. And we have talked about that before. It was kind of like a final gesture as a warning to all others who fought against the British Crown. Now there is actually a beautiful song called Boule Vogue, and as I said, it is a gorgeous song, but the last verse of Boule Vogue says, "God grant you glory, brave Father Murphy, and open heaven to all your men. The cause that called you may call tomorrow in another fight for the green again." So it is a beautiful song, and that last verse is, it kind of gives you chills. Now on the plaque underneath his tomb, it says, "Father John Murphy, CC, Boule Vogue, local leader of the 1798 rebellion, born in Tincurry, Ferns in 1753, executed in Tullow, the 2nd of July, 1798. His part remains are buried here." And the reason they say that is, as I said, his body was burned in a barrel of tar. Like he was hung, drawn and quartered, and then his head decapitated and put up, as I said, on a spike or a pike. And that was just it was kind of like, to warn others of anyone that was opposing the crown, and like to humiliate him in death, which is just horrid to think about. And I mean, he was a parish priest and he led people to, in the rebellion war, and it's so important that we remember him. Just along here, we have some grave slabs, and these slabs, you often find that you can't read any of them at all. So these are the ruins that are just located beside the graveyard. And now we are on the hunt for the king of Leinster. Not a very popular king at all. Wow, look at this headstone. Wow. Now this is very well preserved. Here lies the body of Moses Breen, who departed this life February the 14th, 1790, aged 40. Just take a look at that. Isn't it just fantastic? Wow. Any maker name on this one? There's not. There's no stonemason's name that I can see. Look at that, guys. And there we have the 1790 there. Wow. Beside this one, actually, here lies the body of Daniel Breen, so obviously related. Looks like 1790 there, age 70. We have the serpent at his feet. And this one we see, they're like trees here growing up beside it. This is a huge, it's a huge headstone as well. Erected by Elizabeth Summers, Corbett's Town, in memory of her husband Michael, who departed this life April 1829, aged 80. Also, two of their children. Now, that looks like B-E. That's that letter that is actually an S. It looks like an F. It could be Bess and William, which died young. Also the above Elizabeth Summers, who departed this life the 27th of February 1844, aged 66. And their grandchildren, Catherine, who died young, and her son John Summers, who departed this life the 15th of February 1876, aged 67. Also his wife Mary. And their daughter Eliza, aged 34, her son Peter, and the list goes on and on. Peter was actually only 16 when he passed, and their son Michael. Wow, full.
The time it took to put all that right
Yeah.
on their head.
It's quite amazing. It's a huge headstone. We have the Lamb of God on this one just beside it. Erected by Edward Doyle in memory of his uncle John Summers. So obviously similar names, so they're obviously related. His aunt Elizabeth Summers, 1918, age 67, and the above Edward, 1928, age 54. And you just see there the Lamb of God. It usually symbolises a young person. So this is actually a headstone that's completely flattened. See that? And actually, just in the distance, I have found the grave. So we're going to bring you across. See, all the headstones are covered in that lichen. We actually have a railed area. Will we go to the railed area first and have a look?
Quite a few trees here, Fred.
Looks absolutely gorgeous here, really, doesn't it? So we've the ruins there. I believe that was an abbey. Wow, look at this one.
Initials on it.
Look at though, that says year, I'm sure. Just above that little stick. Wow! No way. 1701.
Wow.
1701. Wow. MB, I think it is. Is it WITHE? White? Could be, but look at that, guys. 1701. Wow. That's remarkable. Just have a look at all the headstones. There is so many here. There's a few more with those beautiful designs. This is 1791. John Kehoe, aged 66. The torch is not really helping. Here we actually have, look at that. Look at the hair. And we have J. Byrne, guys, our stonemason that we're so used to seeing, but this is something I have never seen before in J. Byrne's work. Look at the hair. You have the coat. Our Lord on the cross. And the same on this side. That is amazing. So you know, the symbols that are on the headstones are quite remarkable for their time. This one to me looks very, very old. Aged, there's the date, 1768. Wow.
That's before the rebellion.
Yeah, so is there a name there?
31 years before the rebellion.
That's the name there, but I can't really make it out.
Peter, I think.
Is it?
Peter Kehoe.
Oh yeah, Peter Kehoe. Wow.
Age
Died
67.
January 17... What is it? Is it 1768? I think it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
And his daughter is there
His
as well.
daughter as well. So the sun is out. It has stopped raining. And I'm now going to bring you to the grave of a king. And he is just there. But I did say I wanted to show you the rails first, didn't I? And then we'll go across. So this is just a gated area. There must have been, I don't know, headstones in
It was probably like
here?
the other area you showed.
Maybe.
This is what it was supposed to meant to look like.
Yeah. There's nothing in there though. Like,
Big area,
it's huge. But nothing in there. Very, very strange really, isn't it?
How did, why would they build such a big structure?
Wow, look at this one.
Nothing in there.
It's like a family crest. That's fantastic.
It's a lion, is
A
it?
lion, I'd imagine,
lion.
even though he looks like a dog to me. We have a bird there as well. A couple of birds.
Looks like an Esquire, maybe the
Family place of internment of the
Mastersons of
Carltown, was it? And Monaseed. So their places locally.
This wall, Mrs. Francis
Masterson.
Born.
And it's your
Departed
date.
this life on the 9th of July
1749. Wow.
Aged 28 years old.
28, it's very young, but beautiful stone for her. And these kind of look like they may have been like, look at this. Now, unfortunately, the rail has come down. We won't actually be able to read that, but I was going to say they looked like they were esquires, so landowners or...
Yeah, the front is gone off.
Yeah.
I wonder how that would fall and break.
It's fallen in, yeah. So notable families, I'd imagine. So let's get back out. So, Dermot MacMurrough was the King of Leinster during the 12th century and is most remembered as the man who invited the English into Ireland. Now, he was born around 1110 and he was a ruthless leader and demonstrated the ferocity of the times by killing and blinding 17 rivals in 1141. He became involved in a dispute with the King of Breffni, Tiernan O'Rourke, whose wife he kidnapped in 1153, taking with them her dowry, so everything she owned, including her furniture. Now, this created a long, bitter feud, and in 1166 it resulted in MacMurrough being driven into exile by the Gaelic chieftains, and so he fled to France. Now, he did not accept his exile and went to the King of England, Henry II, and he offered to become a vassal to the king in return for military aid in the retaking of his kingdom. The king did not directly provide assistance, but allowed MacMurrough to petition the Anglo-Norman lords. It was at this time that the Earl of Pembroke, Richard the Clare, later known as Strongbow, and I have videos about Strongbow on my channel, and he agreed to lead an army to Ireland. Now, MacMurrough brought an advance party of adventurers back to Ireland in 1167, recaptured Wexford and waited for Strongbow to arrive. The Irish chieftains did not allow the invaders to settle, however, and they were continually attacked and harassed. At one stage it seemed likely that they would be driven from the country if it were not for the support given by Henry II. Dermot MacMurrough died in 1171, leaving Strongbow to declare himself King of Leinster. This is the final resting place of Dermot MacMurrough, King of Leinster. He wasn't a very liked man. What I was told about this used to be a fantastic memorial. I believe it was a cross, but it has been vandalised. And when I asked why, they said that he is still hated today, that people of Ireland do not like him because he did bring the English into Ireland and created, you know, huge problems for the Irish chieftains at the time. So it's just an interesting story. It's part of history, whether you liked him or you didn't. He's here, and there's actually a plaque, and it says, "Here lies the remains of Dermot I'm not going to be able to pronounce the Irish. Murgata, I think it is, or Dermot MacMurrough. So his name was anglicised over the years. King of Leinster, born 1110 and died in 1174. His son Dermot is actually here as well, and I think he died in 1175. So, you know, very, very interesting. His son died only a short time after that. As I said, there's so much history here, but this is just a very, very short, a little amount of information. I will link some more information underneath so you can have a look up if you want to. So, as I said, the sun is shining. We have found the two graves that we set out to find. Of course, Father Murphy. Father Murphy is very much loved. That song, I will link that song actually below as well. You need to listen to the words. It's extremely sad. Kind of gives you shivers as you listen to it, and it just explains, the war, the 1798 rebellion in Ireland at the time, and it was tough times, really, really tough times. Just seeing these. Now, I've seen this maybe once before, where the stone gets... Actually, this stone is very, very strange. See the amount of cracks in it. I have never seen a headstone crack like that. But what they have done, so, the person visiting can read it easier, is actually they have put up a plate on the grave, so you can read it much, much easier. Now, what I have noticed straight away, we have an 1880. We also have his daughter, Lizzie Bulger, who died July the 2nd, 1876. She was only 8 years old. There's also the grandson, Michael, and he died young. But just look at that. I have never seen a headstone to go like that. You'd see the writing kind of deteriorate with weather, but not like that.
Unless it was badly made, whatever stone it was.
Maybe they didn't put the right materials in it. But that is just going to crumble, isn't it? It's the whole way through it. They've also done this one. This is also Bulger. And you can see it here as well, that they have what's on the headstone is now written on this plate. I just have seen this also, his son Eden, who departed this world. I love the way that's wrote, this world, on August the 9th, 1871, age 5. We also have his daughter, Marjorie, May the 1st, 1869, aged just 17.
I like that name, Thaddeus.
Thaddeus, yeah.
It's a real old name.
Thaddeus or Thaddeus. Thaddeus, maybe. It's a beautiful name, a beautiful name. So we've just walked around the side of this church. It's 1817, but the door is actually open. So we're going to take a quick look in. Straight away, it's a real musty smell of just how old the church actually is. It's absolutely gorgeous. Actually, just here to my right, I've noticed an effigy. Look at that. Obviously, he's a bishop. And actually, it's not. It's a saint. There's a plaque just above his head. Look at this stuff first, and then I'll explain who it is. So it's actually Saint Eden, commonly known as Saint Mogue, and I hope I've pronounced that correctly. He was the founder of this cathedral and 5th Bishop of Ferns. He discharged the pastoral, I think it says, office with piety and Christian zeal for the space of 50 years and died in an advanced age, January the 31st, AD 632. The saint is interred here, Saint Eden. His remains are here, 632. Wow.
That's very old.
That is definitely the oldest that we have found. This was what I was trying to read here. I don't have my glasses on, unfortunately, but I do believe I read it correctly. The 5th Bishop of Ferns, Saint Eden. Died in advanced age. There it is, guys. January the 31st, AD 632. He discharged the peripheral or it looks like pastoral office with piety and Christian zeal. So forgive me if I have pronounced it wrong. I've never actually seen that word before. But look at this. So he is interred under his effigy. We've angels here. 632, that is... His
name is actually on this list here.
Is it? So this is quite amazing.
The Bishops of Ferns.
Yeah, Bishop of Ferns, it said that on the plaque.
There's a list here of bishops from Ferns.
So Ferns would be the...
And the red there you can see.
the area.
You can just see his name here.
St. Eden, yeah.
598.
598, oh my goodness. And then we have obviously the bishops that would have came after St. Eden, right to 2006. That is amazing. And then we have the deans named here as well from 1304 to 2011. Let's just take a... That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. 632. People often say, what is the oldest you have found? That is the oldest. So we have these plaques on the wall. Wow, look at this one. Thomas Erlington, DD. Bishop.
The bust.
Wow, look at that, guys. That is stunning. 1835, age 71. Thomas Erlington, DD, Bishop of Ferns. Wow, this is beautiful. Look at that. And sometimes we don't get into these churches, but it's always interesting when we do.
That's
5th Earl of Courtown.
James
George Henry Stopford.
1914, age 91 years old.
Wow. This is just beautiful though. I'm actually blown away by how gorgeous it is. Now there's a rope across that because we're not allowed to go up there. Let's turn around and have a look. So we've the organ just up here. The balcony and the organ is up here. Wow. It's freezing, but there's a real musty smell in here and I love it. I love it. So we've all these hymn books and Bibles, and there's even some children's books here as well. That is the baptismal font. Beautiful. Right, so guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Subscription is free, it costs you nothing. But for now, from Ferns, take care, God bless, and I'll talk to you all again soon.